Peace and blessings, everyone. This is Rasharn Medina with A Look Inside. So, today I want to talk about narcissism. I'm following up from my video about trauma with this subject because narcissism is running very rampant in our current society, and it directly stems from trauma. The traumas that we go through, the things we sustain and never fully heal or come to closure, basically to come to closure with, those things tend to lead to a slight alteration or deviation of our natural personalities. And when this happens, one of those things tends to be narcissism. One of those deviations becomes narcissism. And with that being said, when people become narcissistic, there tends to be a self-absorption that takes place, and a decreased ability to empathize and connect with other people on an emotional level. So I want to say this also because I myself have, while I may have not, in my perspective, gone fully into narcissism, I've definitely carried some narcissistic traits due to certain experiences I've had, and also having people close to me in my life who I was around when I was younger that were full-blown narcissists. And kind of, I picked up some things, some of those type of traits, and I experienced certain tough situations that were a result of being around someone who was narcissistic. So narcissism also can be somewhat contagious in a way, whether it's someone becoming fully narcissistic and they spread that, and then someone else becomes fully narcissistic. That can definitely be something that happens. It could just be a lesser extent, like in my personal case. Okay, I was around narcissistic people growing up, and then I took on a little bit of that, like a lighter and less severe version, thankfully. But all that being said, I have definitely known and observed myself to be self-absorbed at different points in my life, not just from like the I'm young and I'm not, I haven't grown up and mature, but kind of from a place of disconnection from other people. And that there's a difference there. There's one thing to be young, to be immature, to be kind of just still growing into your own, and there's another thing to not feel fully able to connect and empathize with others. So I did notice that my ability to do that has been somewhat limited, and it's still not fully at a optimal level that I would like it to be. It's getting better every day, but there's still definitely work for me to do there. And when I say it's work, it's not to say that going through things and trying to manage them makes you a bad person, but it does. I think the responsibility still lies on the individual to be able to move forward and continue evolving as consciously as possible. So for me, any of those traits that I've picked up, whether it's just being kind of overly selfish, if it's any times that I've been manipulative in life, I like to make sure that I'm addressing those things as soon as they're brought to my attention, which thankfully that has happened in my life. I've known people close to me that have been able to reflect back when I have been acting having like a narcissistic trait or a tendency kind of flare up. Because you'll notice, if you have a lesser version of it, like if you just have like traits of it or symptoms of it rather than being a full narcissist, it'll more so be a flare up. Like you'll have your normal personality, which is okay, I'm cool, I'm caring, I'm connecting with others, and then there may be something that triggers like this shadow side of you or personality. So I look at that as like someone who has narcissistic traits, whereas a full narcissist, they are always in that mode, except when they're around someone who they want to manipulate and they have not had the chance to be able to manipulate that person. So I do want to get a little bit more into the definition from my perspective. So narcissism to me is where a person operates completely without self-accountability, without the ability to acknowledge when they've done wrong, without the ability to change and evolve, and basically they lack the ability to heal and progress in their lives on a personal and an emotional level. So to me, when this happens, it results in them finding people that they can manipulate, that they can take advantage of, that they can kind of create this little film or this screenplay where they're the stars and everybody else is catering to them in their lives. So they may act at certain points like they care about other people when they want something, but in actuality, on a deep level, if something were to happen to someone else, the narcissist would not actually care at all. A lot of times, narcissists don't even pretend. They won't even pretend to care. So because their ability to connect to others is so restricted, they won't really move or budge past their normal baseline, and that their baseline of for their personality is so small, it's so thin. You really won't see them shift emotionally like that. You'd have to really trigger them. Like you'd have to do something towards them and act upon them, whether it was extremely positively or extremely negatively, to get any type of emotional fluctuation from a narcissist. So with that being said, that's my general definition. It's a person that's been extremely traumatized, to the point where they are unable to possess accountability for themselves. They're unable to heal by themselves. They basically get to a place where they are in such need of healing, but they don't want to go through the process of actually healing, that they start manipulating other people to kind of feed them an emotional supply, in a way. Like they want validation from other people, they want attention from other people, they want praise, admiration, they want different things that feed this narcissistic personality or ego. And so it's just like it's a lot of draining. They basically drain other people's energy. So, and I can definitely acknowledge that I've had flare-ups of this. I've had moments where I've done that to other people close to me, and I've been called out on it, and that's helped me to be able to improve and better myself and continue changing and doing my best to be a better human being. So it's an interesting subject, and it's narcissism is growing very rampant. So I urge people to look out for these type of signs, and my personal advice and perspective is that if you find and come across people who are narcissists, to do your best to stay away from them as much as possible, and definitely don't get entangled with them on a very intimate and personal level. If you can refer them to someone, a medical professional, a therapist, someone, maybe a spiritual healer perhaps, someone that can really hold the proper space for healing, that I suggest that. But in terms of you trying to, quote, change them, make them heal, try to enact some positive thing to happen, I personally don't recommend it. Narcissists are very manipulative, and they're very cunning. because they're in so much pain, they will do anything to get what they think that they want. So you may want to help them, but then it turns out that you're just falling into a trap, an emotional trap. And now they've got a person, emotionally hooked, and that person is now a victim and is being drained of their vitality and their attention and possibly their ambition. So yeah, definitely be careful when it comes to narcissists. That's what I have for today. Just keep a lookout, guard your energy, and also look to see if there's anything within yourself that may be kind of self-absorbed, may lack empathy towards others, may be narcissistic. If you can identify any flare-ups of that, that's something to look at. The good thing is that there is room for growth, there is opportunity for growth and healing, and for us to be able to ultimately be of service to others. So that's what I have for today. I hope everyone's week is going well. I wish you the best. This is Rasharn Medina with a look inside.